Whoa. Whoa, what's going on here? Where's my equipment? Oh man. Where's my equipment?
What's up, lawn care little guy?
No, my equipment didn't get stolen, guys. Breathe easy. I just dropped it off so they could have some annual maintenance done over at Link's Lawn Equipment. So I've got a little cut for you while I was at Link's Lawn Equipment, and man, all I can tell you is everything's expensive. Everything's expensive. So I gotta hurry up and rush and get my equipment off. I totally forgot to get the footage of me loading the trailer like that's any kind of big deal. But I'm taking it down there. They're gonna look it over, get it all fixed up for me. They said they got about a week and a half turnaround when I called them, so that's gonna be awesome. Perfect timing for getting back into the whole mowing season. But I'm on my way. I gotta get back because I got Bible study today. Okay guys, so I just turned in my mowers as you guys saw, and I'm going to tell you guys what the lowdown is with it, and this is going to be really important, especially for you newer guys. I've already decided in my heart what I like to do, and it is not the cheapest route. The cheapest route is to learn how to do things yourself and do it, but that does require time, okay? That's not something that I have very much of. So my maintenance starts being very expensive, especially since I don't do a whole lot of maintenance through the year. I know. Slap me on the wrist, y'all. I know. Got to do the maintenance, especially keep your equipment clean, but I'm just not good at it, guys. I'm just not. Hopefully I'll make more time in the next year. So this is going to be the likely damage, all right? It looks like for the Gravely Zero Turn, it could be up to $350. Okay, $350. Now that's my machine that has the most damage on it. Remember, that's the one I hit with the manhole cover, or hit a manhole cover with. So I've got some deck issues, and that's going to be expensive. Okay, they're going to have to take that deck off. They're going to have to beat it back into place. They're going to have to do everything that I don't have time to do, and that's going to cost a lot of money. Oh, okay. So that is the Gravely Zero Turn. Now we're down to the Toro Pro line. The Pro line is going to cost about $150. I'm just going to have them run through stuff. I got a starting issue with it because I haven't started in forever. I probably got some bad gas in there, so they're going to take the carburetor off, clean it up. Could I do that myself? Yeah, I probably have to know how to do that, but that's not what I'm going to do because, again, I don't have the time. So I'm going to pay them $150 to tune that thing up, get it all cleaned up, checked out, ready to roll for 2019, and it's going to cost me $150. So that's not the only machine. So now let's look at the worst case scenario. Let's add it up. $350 plus $150. That is $500 on 2 mowers. And we haven't even gotten to the third one. The Time Master. Okay? The Time Master. What's that going to run me? About $100. About $100. The machine's $1,000 though. This is the first time I have done any maintenance on that machine besides change its oil and replace the little idler pulley in it, okay? So I've got maybe $60 in the machine. I paid $1,000 for it, and it's gonna cost me $100 given, or hopefully there's no other things. That's not including parts, okay, if I needed any parts. But it's going to be $100 for them to go through and tune it up and get it ready for the 2019 season. And I'm praying that there's nothing else wrong with it, okay? So I am looking at about $600. $600. Oh! I don't know how to tell my wife this. I don't know how to tell my wife. Yeah, roughly $600. So anyways, new guys, there's costs involved, okay? If you don't want to do things yourself, there's costs involved. So keep that in mind. Maybe I'll learn how to do something after this year's lesson, okay? Maybe I'll take care of my equipment a little bit better. All right, that's it, guys. That's my visit at Lynx. I'm heading back home. Okay, guys, so not only is lawn equipment expensive, but vehicle repairs are also very expensive at times, especially if you can't do that work yourself. So what happened with my truck this week? Well, I was on my way home from work, not doing lawn care, right? I was on my way home from work, and as you guys know from the last video, I don't hear very well, so I don't really know how long this has been going on. But I noticed a grinding in the front. I'm like, oh Lord. So I have a mechanical background, so I'm thinking brakes. Well, sure enough, it is the brakes. And I've had this truck for about 3 years now. It had 34,000 miles on it. Now it has 71,000 miles. And let me show you these brake pads. Practically nothing. That's one side, right? There's the other. The other. And this is the real bad one. Look at that, guys. And here's the rotor. So I had to replace the brake pads, but not just the brake pads, but I also had to replace a rotor because I let it go too long. And honestly, there was no other indications except for that grinding, and I'm not used to brake pads wearing out that fast. But apparently when you're pulling a trailer, you brake a little harder, you're a little harder on your brakes. Now maybe you guys are replacing brakes more often than I am, but I'm honestly used to replacing brakes like once, like every 150,000 miles. I'm not even kidding. And usually they don't even really need to be replaced. They're just like less than 25%. They're not metal, okay? Not like this was. So I put, what is it, 40, not even 40,000 miles on this truck, and it has 71 total, and I had metal on metal. So be aware of that, guys. When you guys are pulling equipment, you guys really need to check the status of your vehicle periodically to make sure that you're not wearing something out prematurely, because your trucks are going to take extra wear and tear like mine did. And what ended up costing me was these brake pads were only 25 bucks. The rotor was 70 bucks. So if I would have actually looked at my brake pads, been cognizant that that there's going to be a little more wear and tear than I'm used to on a vehicle, then I probably could have saved the rotor. Fortunately, one side was good, the other side was bad. And yes, I could have had them cut, but I didn't have time for that. I got to get it fixed. And fortunately, I can do that stuff myself. So all in all, it cost me about $86, but it could have been much, much more than that. And so anyways, little tip for you guys. Especially if this is your first year and you're not used to a maintenance cycle on your vehicles, just know this, that things are going to wear out faster than you think, and make sure you're doing inspections on your vehicles, on your trailers, and everything, okay? So I guess it remains to be seen exactly what it's going to cost me to fix my mowers. Fortunately, my truck is fixed, and I guess we'll just wait and see. Here probably in about a week and a half, I'm looking for a phone call from Lynx to see what the damage is, or to see what else we got to do. So anyways, it's all about maintenance this time, y'all. You got to have all your stuff ready, because once you get going, you're not going to have time. Like if you're like me, you're going to be run. So this is the time now. Check up on all your equipment. And I'm Matt, the Lawn Care Little Guy. Wait! I almost forgot the update on the applicator's license. Really quick. I took my second test. I passed it with a 90. I was a little bit, about it, but I passed it with a 90. Now there's more to do though. I have to apply for my license. I have to build a storage. I have to get lettering for my truck. I have to get insurance, which I've got a quote in and I've already accepted. Gosh, I have to do a lot. And then there's one thing that I did not foresee, because this is the first time I heard of it, but on the application for your pesticide applicator's license, it says that you have to show that you're registered with the Secretary of the state, so of Oklahoma. So I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it's another DBA just filed with the state instead of the county. But I would have filed with the state, but when I did my application online, I got to a point where I didn't have any employees and I wasn't going to charge sales tax. So I couldn't get any further into the process. So I called the state of Oklahoma and they said, yes, just file a DBA with your county. So I might have a little bit more work to do on my business status. So I'm not sure how it's going to affect me just yet. But the update is the test happened, got a 90, I'm rocking and rolling. I got my little card. I'm actually a certified applicator now. I'm just not a licensed certified applicator. So that's the update on that. Sorry about that. Continue on, please. And that's what's up. If you're sticking around, then you are interested in my time alone with God, and I've got a pretty good one for you this week. This one is about judging, okay? I shared this with my small group last week, and it's kind of interesting what I found out about judging, because as Christians, one of our favorite rules is don't judge, right? I've heard a lot of complaints about Christians actually judging. I came across this verse in my quiet time. It's 1 Corinthians 5:12, and it says, "For what have I to do with judging outsiders? Is it not those inside the church whom you are to judge?" The thing that jumped out at me about this verse is, we all know that we're not supposed to judge, yet this verse says we don't judge outsiders, but we judge those who are inside the church. So I think what the problem is I think a lot of times we just don't judge properly. We got to be able to judge with righteousness, the righteousness of God, because God is always right? He's righteous, always. His judgment is always correct. It's always spot on. The problem is our judgment is not always spot on. We get it wrong sometimes, and we don't do it in righteousness. A lot of times, we get judged back for that. Hypocrisy is what comes down to it, right? So we ought not judge without the understanding that we are going to be judged just as harshly as we judge others. So if you can handle that, then by all means, judge away. But I don't suggest that you do that. And then the who. Who do we judge? We don't judge outsiders. Why? Because they're not in Christ. It's not right for us to judge people who don't have Jesus and expect them to act like as if they did have Jesus. They don't have Jesus. They're not capable of doing and living the Christian life as we think they ought to be living it. We think it's wrong to judge people inside the church. What does that look like? In that same passage, the context is that whenever two believers have a dispute, we should be able to work that out within ourselves. We ought to be able to judge ourselves with a right mind that we do the right thing all the time. Because if we can't do that, Scripture says, shame on us if we actually take our dispute to someone, to a court that is of the world. It says that we need to be able to handle these things on ourselves. But when we have disputes with one another, we have to make a right judgment about ourselves and about the circumstances as a whole. Also in Corinthians, it talks about that when we're in heaven after this life, it says we're not only are we going to judge the world, but we're also going to judge the angels. Isn't that crazy? Because we as Christians are actually elevated higher than the angels because we were made in His image. The angels were not made in His image. So in that respect, we get to judge the angels and the world at that time. So if we have that responsibility later on, we should also be able to settle and judge properly on this earth with just between us, between other believers. Here's the skinny. If you're going to take anything away from this, just know this, that judging may not be what you think it is. It's not a simple do not judge, okay? But you judge with righteousness, okay? And you judge without hypocrisy. We make judgments all the time, don't we? That pizza's horrible, that pizza's great. That person offended me, that person's nice to me. We make judgments all the time. It's part of our nature. But do it with righteousness and do it without hypocrisy, because if we do it with hypocrisy, know this, that you're going to be judged in the measure that you judge. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tag time. Pray for me. You know I'll be praying for you, and peace.